If you don't like the rankings, it's his fault, not mine.
Welcome to No Facts Needed, and today we're going to be ranking the top running backs. Before we begin, disclaimer. The way we did the rankings is a average between our lists, so there's going to be a couple ties. And the way we rank these players is based off next year we started an average team, and we have to pick those players to put into that team. Number 1, Christian McCaffrey. Probably should have been Offensive Player of the Year, but Michael Thomas had to steal it away from him. 1,300 rushing yards, almost 5 yards per carry, 15 touchdowns, and guess what? He had 1,000 receiving yards. That's ridiculous. And 4 touchdowns, and only 1 fumble. Kind of crazy. No? Want to say anything about it?
It's Christian McCaffrey. I mean, what else do you really have to say? Like, he does everything well, literally.
Yeah. One little thing that I saw is that some people might say that his O-line ranked 3rd out of yards before contact, but his O-line still isn't that good. And I'd say that's more on Christian McCaffrey just like making everybody miss before he gets touched, you know? That's just what I got to say.
They definitely feed him a little bit extra just because they suck so much.
Yeah.
You can't argue with the results, so...
Yeah. Also, with his catching, he had 81% catch rate on his on all passes. Better than Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas only had 80%. Number 2. Actually, we have a tie for number 2. It's going to be between Saquon and Zeke. I had Zeke number 2 and you had Saquon number 2. And then we just flip it for number 3.
Yeah.
How about you talk about Saquon first?
Saquon is probably the most polarizing running back. If you're basing it on just straight running ability, he might be number 1. He's a home run hitter for sure. We didn't see a lot of it last year because he was hurt so much. But, you know, it just is what it is. A lot of times you don't see running backs succeed as much as he does with the team that's this bad. But it doesn't seem to faze him. I mean, last year he had a couple of rough patches, like I said. But, I mean, he came back from a high ankle sprain in like 4 games and still managed to have like a couple of games that looked like his old self at the end of the year. So...
He was 32nd in yards before contact with 1.8. So pretty much he got the ball and there were like 3 guys right in his face. And it's hard for him to get anything, but he always gets it. And kind of like you said, he probably has the best home run potential out of any running back right now. But
he also has great hands.
Yeah.
So whenever he gets the chance to catch the ball, he can do that too.
Yeah, I mean, he had 438 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. But he did miss 3 games.
That was 3?
Yeah, 3 games. He had 1,000 yards rushing, so you could probably give him like 12 to 1,300 yards rushing. All right, Zeke. Stats, 1,300 rushing yards, 420 receiving yards. Blaze it, if you know what I mean. I mean, he had to run against the sack box 20% of the time, and he hasn't missed a game due to injury. He has missed games due to other things. We won't get into that.
He wasn't guilty.
Exactly.
I don't actually know.
The thing you said about Saquon is you think he's the best pure runner in the NFL.
Yeah.
I think Zeke is probably the best pure runner. He's not a home run hitter, but if you want him to get 4 to 6 yards every single run, I think he's going to get that for you. I think Saquon kind of has the tendency to, if there's not a pocket or not a hole there, he'll bounce it out.
Saquon definitely goes backwards sometimes.
Yeah, and he'll take losses for it.
More often than other running backs do.
Zeke will do it at points, but more than not, he just hits the hole and he gets 3, 4, 5 yards every single time, even if there's 3 guys right there, because he just falls forward and you can't stop it. So that's why I kind of had Zeke number 2, because the health, you know what you're getting, and he can catch the ball too. Like, it's not as good as Zeke or as Saquon or Christian McCaffrey, but he can still do it.
I would say his hands are probably equal to Saquon. Yeah, Zeke never goes down on the first man.
Yeah,
for sure.
And also, one thing I want to say about him is that he's been able to elevate the team around him. You know, people say that the Dallas Cowboys, the people around him are good, but I think they're good because of Zeke. Like, when Zeke's not on the field, Dak's production goes down. They can't block as well, and just everything, the offense can't function as well. I mean, he's definitely the focal point of their team. We can get into our next guy.
Who's that?
Derrick Henry at number 4.
Freaking Mack truck.
So last year, his stats were just insane. 1,500 yards, 5.1 yards per carry, 16 touchdowns. Didn't really catch the ball, 200 receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns. The only, dig you can have on him is that he had 5 fumbles, which for running back is kind of a lot. You don't want more than like 2 or 3, but when you run it as much as he does, you're gonna get some fumbles. You know.
He had what, like 800 yards or something crazy in like his last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What I said about Zeke being the focal point, that's kind of like an understatement when you talk about Derrick Henry and what he did for the Titans last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've talked about it. Ryan Tannehill averaged like 12 passes in the playoffs. They just ran Derrick Henry to their ground.
Derrick Henry even threw a touchdown.
He was ranked 27th in yards before contact with 1.9, so kind of like Saquon. When he gets there, there's people there, and he just runs right over them. Also, I forgot this. He ran against the stacked box, I think, like 4th out of everybody with 35%. Nick Chubb, number 5.
Yeah, Nick Chubb is just really good. Like, he has really good vision.
Mm-hmm.
And he, like, some people, like Zeke and Derrick Henry, they kind of manhandle a defender when they come up on them. Nick Chubb just, like, straight bounces off you.
Yeah.
And, like, just keeps going. And he's like a robot almost. Like, he just runs and just, you know, he has, like, almost no personality, but it's pretty cool.
Next guy, Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon is a freaking beast.
Mm-hmm.
Real ones know I've been on the Joe train for a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically just because, like, his team is so bad, and it doesn't really matter, you know?
Yeah.
Like, even against, like, the Patriots last year, he put on a show. And he can do everything. Like, he can catch. He runs up the middle. He'll make you miss. He's got great speed. He can break tackles.
Yeah.
I mean, if he played for a playoff contender at least, I think he would get way more attention.
Yeah. I'm not even going to say his stats. It's kind of like what you said. He's so good. His stats they don't translate to the field.
There were drives last year where he was literally like all their yards.
Yeah. At 7, Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, if we did this list this time last year, he probably would have been way higher for me.
Yeah.
But just because he's kind of got a little bit of injury concern, and when he was on the field last year, he just didn't look like his old self, you know?
Yeah.
Because 2 years ago, or his rookie year, I mean, he was just like unstoppable. Like, you just could not bring him down. And it's not even like breaking tackles or crazy jukes every time. He's just got like such crazy balance, and like he's able to weave in and out. And in that offense, he's just perfect. He's like Christian McCaffrey Jr.
Yeah, he's small, so that's why he's kind of lower. Like, he's like a top 5 talent in the league. He just doesn't have the body to hold up. He's not a workhorse that you're going to give 20 carries a game.
Yeah.
But when you do give him the ball, he's going to make a play happen. All right, next guy, Aaron Jones.
This is a little high for me.
Yeah.
I'm at 10th.
I had him 8th, right? And I had him one spot after Kamara.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think of Aaron Jones, I kind of think of Alvin Kamara. You know?
Why?
Both small guys, both can catch out of the backfield. Both, when they get the ball, they make plays, but they don't always get the ball because their head coaches are like, we can't give you, you're not a workhorse, but you're really good with the ball in your hands, you know? And another thing is that they kind of share the backfield with one other main guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, next guy. Some people might be surprised by this because he's so low on our list, but Dalvin Cook.
I had Cook at 7th.
Oh, I had him at 12th, so he was low on my list.
12th?
Yeah.
Just because of injury?
Just because of injury. If I have a running back, I want a guy that I know I can give the ball to him a lot, and he's not going to get hurt.
I mean, it's fair. He's never been healthy, literally, ever since he came into the league. But when he's there, he's so good.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, their offense last year really kind of figured out what to do with him. Is just get him in space, get him in the outside, and just like let him do his thing.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that could be a top 5 back with his catching and his running.
Mm-hmm.
And also how Saquon has that big play ability.
Yeah.
I say big play ability is like Saquon, McCaffrey, and then Cook. Like, Cook is right up with those top guys with big play.
He can accelerate really fast. There's not one particular thing that stands out when you watch him, but he's just so productive.
Our next guy, Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs, he could be higher on this list very soon. I mean, he kind of reminds me of Nick Chubb. He does everything. He's not necessarily the fastest guy, but he will break it outside. He can catch the ball when he needs to. more so than other guys.
Yeah.
And, I mean, yeah, he came into the league and was the best player on his offense, basically.
Yeah.
So
What I really like about him is that he has that workhorse potential,
Mhm.
but also he has that big play potential.
Mhm.
Like, he can do both. This has been No Facts Needed. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe,
like, comment, subscribe,
download, follow us on
Instagram,
Spotify,
Twitter.
iTunes, podcasts.
Yeah.
Anywhere you can think about finding us, we're there. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.